Hey Adventures, so today is going to be a book tag. This is the Krampus Book Tag. This tag was created by David from David's Book Reviews, and he tagged me in it, so I figured I might as well do it. Plus it's almost Christmas and it's a good time to do it. He did it back in November and said he wanted to give time for other people to do it if they wanted to, and it's fun. Got some fun questions that are kind of very different than I'm used to answering, and so it was fun to try and come up with some interesting answers for it. The man himself. Which fictional character would best portray the Christmas demon? This one I kind of had some issues coming up with. I wanted a character that was mischievous and bad, I guess, but not just pure evil. Has some different motivations that are leading him to make the decisions that he's making, and so I went with Gollum. I think Gollum would be, first off, I think Gollum would have a lot of fun being this type of character who is, and I understand this isn't exactly accurate to the character of Krampus, but this kind of opposite of Santa Claus, this anti-Santa type character. And so I think he would have a lot of fun just being like this mischievous type, evil Santa type character. And again, I know that's not exactly who Krampus is, but that's kind of the idea that I'm getting from Gollum becoming this Christmas demon, this Krampus character, and so I think it would be kind of fun to see. Is That Sleigh Bells? Which fictional character deserves to be visited by Krampus? For this one, again, I had a little bit of an issue coming up with a character that I was like, okay, this character is the one above all else that needs to be visited by Krampus, but I ended up going with Mordred from really any of the Arthurian tales, but specifically Le Morte d'Arthur, because that's the one that I've read most recently with him in it. And yeah, bad character. I don't like Mordred. Never have liked Mordred. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. I don't like Mordred. Bedtime Stories. What is a horror book that best fits the festive season? So I haven't actually read any horror books yet, so I really can't answer this one very well. But I have read books with horror elements in them, and I've also read books that are festive. And so the one that meets both of those, kind of matches those two in the middle, is Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. One of my favorite stories ever at this point. It's one of my favorite stories ever. But it is a Christmas time story, Christmas, Yuletide, New Year's, right in that time frame. But it also has some horror elements with it. The Green Knight, fact that he can get his head cut off and just pick it up and continue going. There's some horror elements in Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, and it's amazing. One of my favorite books that I've read this year, and one of my favorite stories of all time. Devilish Gifts. What is one strange fictional item you would like to receive from Krampus? It's not so much strange, it's just a fictional item that I kind of really like, and it's partly because I love swords, but also Krampus seems like he would deliver swords as a gift. Like, that seems like the type of thing he would do. Instead of some fun thing, he would deliver a potentially very, very dangerous tool. So the one that I went with is the Heron-marked blade from the Wheel of Time series. I'm kind of disappointed with how the end of book 2 went, but I still really like the Heron-marked blade. It's grown on me. At first I didn't like it. I was just like, oh, whatever, this is just a normal sword. But I kind of have started really liking it now. Food, glorious food. What is one unusual food, fictional or real, you would like to eat for Christmas dinner? Specifically for Christmas dinner, I don't really know. Something that came to mind, and largely because I like Redwall and I like potatoes and the more earthy flavored side dishes. So I went with Deeper Never Turnip and Tater and Beetroot Pie from Redwall. That's basically the mole's favorite dish, and it's so much fun. Partly because it's the moles that are generally eating it and generally the ones saying the name of it. I don't know, it sounds fun and it sounds like it might actually taste pretty good, and it doesn't seem like it would be super contradictory to the rest of a Christmas dinner. So that's what I went with for that one. Home for Christmas. What is one dark and dangerous fictional location you would like to visit for Christmas? Specifically for Christmas is the hard part. There's some places that I'd be like, oh, you know, this would be a fun place to visit. Moria, the Mines of Moria from Lord of the Rings would be a super fun place to visit. I'd love to visit them at some point. That would be so much fun. I understand they're not real, obviously, but it would be like, that's one of those fictional locations that I'd love to get to visit. But the one that I went with is actually also from Tolkien's works, and that is Mirkwood, specifically the Wood Elf Kingdom, Thranduil's kingdom, and the northern side of Mirkwood, northeastern side of Mirkwood to be more specific, but just one, it's Elves. Elves are very Christmas-like, but also it seems like a place that would be very festive. It is very festive. You read The Hobbit and you see, okay, this is very festive. I mean, you meet the elves having a party. They're just having a party out in the woods because they can. And I don't know, I think it'd be cool. And it kind of fits. I love woods, I love forests. I think it'd be a good choice. Location, location. Where would you like to travel with Krampus? Who would you like to visit with Krampus? So this one again goes back to my Arthurian lit that I have been reading, and so I went with King Arthur's court. I'd love to visit King Arthur's court, whether with Krampus or with somebody else, but with Krampus specifically, in order to visit, Mordred would be one person, but also Agravain, who is Mordred's half-brother. They're both Arthur's nephews. Agravain, the reason why I can remember his name so easily is because his character is very aggravating. I don't like his character at all. He really aggravates me and annoys me all the time. Every time he appears, I just am aggravated. But also his name, Agravain, is very similar to aggravate, and so they coincide very closely, and so he would be one that I wouldn't mind visiting with Krampus. That would be kind of fun, I think. Locking horns. What fictional character, good or evil, would you like to see battle with Krampus? I went with Vasher from the, what's it called now? Book slipped in my brain. It's Brandon Sanderson. It is called Warbreaker. I like big flashy magics that are very visible and fun, and I like seeing that type of stuff, and I think it would be very cool to see this big Christmas demon. I also could have chosen Gandalf because he basically fought, well, he didn't basically, he fought a demon. He fought the Balrog in Moria. So that would be one that I could obviously go with, but I went with Vasher because he's got the more flashier magic, I guess I can say it, go like that. It's just very interesting and fun to read about, and I think it'd be fun to watch, and so watching Vasher fight Krampus, I think would be really fun. There's plenty of other characters that would have been super fun. Kaladin would have been fun. Kelsier would have been super fun to watch. Even Aragorn, I would think would be fun to watch fight Krampus. Like, there's so many characters, but I went with Vasher mostly due to his magical abilities. They're cool. Spreading the fear. What book, fiction or non-fiction, would Krampus give to Santa for Christmas, and why? This one was another one that I had a really hard time with, mostly because I haven't read a whole lot of grimdark or horror books. I've read like maybe 2, if that. I don't even know that I've read that many. But so those are the genres that I was specifically thinking would fit best with answering this question, and I don't really have one. So I ended up going with The Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. This is a book about a monster. Krampus is a demon. He likes monsters. Maybe not, but that's kind of the vibe that I went with. So I get the feeling that Krampus wouldn't actually read the books. He would just give them to Santa. You'd see the title, A Monster Calls, and be like, ooh, a monster. That sounds fun. Let's give it to Santa, because, you know, that's kind of the personality idea that I get from Krampus. I don't know. Like, it's kind of stupid. I understand that the themes and the story of A Monster Calls does not really match with personality of Krampus, but I think it would be kind of fun. It seems like the type of book that he would give, because he'd read the title and be like, ooh, a calling monster, that sounds fun, let's give it to Santa, type thing. Like, that's the idea that I get when I come up with this answer. So that is all the questions for the Krampus book tag. It was a lot of fun to film, a lot of fun to come up with stupid, weird answers for it, and I like it. I like this book tag. I might have to come back to it sometime in the future and do it again. There's no specific question, tag your friends or anything like that, but I feel like I want to send this question or this tag out to more people and get them to answer it. So I'm going to be tagging Andrew from Andrew's Wizardly Reads, Nico from Nico's Book Reviews, and Owen from Owen Edwards. I think all 3 of these would come up with some great answers. I think Owen would have some very, very insightful, fun answers that would be like, you know what, this fits the character really well. And I feel like Andrew and Nico would both come up with some wacky, just hilarious answers that I think would work well. So I want to hear all their answers. Anybody else who sees this tag and wants to do it, feel free to do it. I know David would love to see all you guys doing his tag. He would really appreciate it. So if you want to do it, go ahead. I leave it open, as well as this tagging the 3 specific people. Thank you guys for watching An Erudite Adventure. We post videos every Monday and Thursday. We have our social medias linked in the description down below. Like, comment, subscribe, please. If you haven't already, we really appreciate it, and we really enjoy talking to you guys. We will see you guys again soon. Stay warm.